Hi everyone, this is Kathy Skipper, and we're very excited because we're coming, myself and my husband Florian Birkmeyer, MD, are coming to Taiwan once again. We haven't been there since before COVID, to teach about ancestral healing. So we wanted to do this short video to tell you a little bit about this class. One of the things that we've noticed is that often we feel some kind of disconnection or a blockage of life force, of vital life force in our lives. And what we've realized is that this vital life force or energy that comes from the earth through our mother lines, as what we call soul, is missing when there's a disconnection from our mother lines, from our ancestral stories. So maybe you've noticed that there are traumas in your life that keep getting repeated, or in generations that keep getting repeated. Maybe you're living a similar story to your mother's trauma and her mother's trauma. So this repeating patterns or the repeating of challenges can often be a sign that there's some kind of ancestral trauma that hasn't been healed, that hasn't been integrated. The other aspect of ancestral healing is that it helps us to connect to what we call the ancestral clan or the well ancestors. And this is a feeling of really strong support and love from those that went before us. And so if maybe you're feeling this need to reconnect, to find a strength within you, a feeling of love and true parental support, wisdom and resilience, then this ancestral healing class could help you to connect to your ancients and get this flowing again through your lineage and into you through your embodiment. The other thing that is interesting with ancestral healing is that once we heal the channels and we get that energy flowing again and we integrate the traumas so that they're no longer being repeated, we get a feeling of authentic embodiment, a sense of self and belonging that's really ours and unique to ours. We also receive, once the ancestral lineages have been healed, the accumulated wisdom of so many generations that have gone before us, the resilience, the wisdom, and that is what becomes our strength that we get. So let's start with a quote by the a psychiatrist and founder of depth psychology, Carl Jung. He said, "Psychologically, the central point of a human personality is the place where the ancestors are reincarnated." So what does that mean? That means that the core of your self, of what you bring to the world, comes from what you receive from your ancestors. That's the beginning of who you are and what you bring forward. So also what we believe is that the feminine energy, both in men and in women, comes through this embodied. I keep saying embodied. It is in our bodies. It's visceral. We can feel it. It's like a red thread through the mother line, which is our clan, our embodied clan. So this red thread is a channel, and it's created by the continual passing on of the mitochondrial DNA, which comes through the maternal lineage. Like a tuning fork, if I was to ping a tuning fork, it resonates through each member of the mother line, connecting us viscerally and psychically. At the heart of our mother line is our clan or our tribe, and it's an ancestral clan or tribe. We don't have to live with our people, but we live with them within our psyche. It is this earth, this soil that so many of us in the modern world are looking for, and that has been cut off. It's been cut off by an industrialized capitalist societies. It's been cut off by organized religions. So this embodied resonance is the eternal soul, and it comes from the earth. You know, it's the earth energy, the energy of Mother Earth, and it comes through each generation. this part of the feminine, this deep part of the feminine, that it is the energy that comes through from the earth, through our mother line, has gone into hiding. It is the part of the feminine that doesn't fit very well into capitalist societies, into societies where the mind is God. But it's time now. We're confronted with ecological disaster, so it's time to bring this deep feminine wisdom back into the world. And one of the ways we can bring her forward is through clearing our ancestral channels. So the dark goddess, which is very much part of this work, has been venerated in different cultures in different forms. And reconnecting to this feminine, deep feminine aspect of the self is one of the themes of this class. So in the same way as we've cut ourselves off from nature, humanity, or the dominant cultures in humanity, have really cut ourselves off from nature, which is why we can so easily destroy nature, because we don't feel that we are part of it. But in the same way as we've done that, we've cut ourselves off from our ancestors. It's all really part of the same story. Reigniting the spark of belonging in ourselves. I know that's what's given me my sense of self, my sense of purpose, my sense of being grounded in the world, my sense of giving something on to my children and my grandchildren. And this isn't just a personal journey. This isn't just a class about our own personal journeys. As we heal ourselves, we will realize that this is collective and an ecological necessity. So reconnecting to our mother lines and through the sacred feminine and our other ancestral lines is another theme in this class. Let me tell you a little bit about the outline of what will happen during the class if you join us. So there'll be an opening ritual with drumming. We'll create a very sacred and safe circle that we'll be working in for 4 days together. We'll get to know each other. We'll get to hold space for each other. We'll have introductions. Maybe a word that describes your mother line in the state it is when you begin the class. We'll introduce what a healthy mother line is and why it's important. We'll talk about the mitochondrial DNA and the channel that creates through which this eternal embodied soul that animates us and flows through us, how it relates to the feminine, and why the mother line is so important and actually represents our soil, our earth, our inner soil, our soul. We'll talk about how patriarchal thinking has stripped the soul from our inner and outer lives and placed the world in grave danger. And that's this feeling of love that comes through the soul, through the mother line. We can feel it. It's a pure motherly love. The essence of individuation, which is your path through life, is the alchemical transformation from ego-centered consciousness to the soul-centered consciousness of the sacred inner marriage, which I believe is when consciousness recognizes the soul in matter that comes through our mother line. Journeying into the depths of the mother line to connect with the ancestral guide who will be there for you for the rest of your lives is at the heart of this class. Reconnecting with the energy of your healthy ancients who are waiting for you the other side of the veil. When wrenched from ancestral lands, people lose everything. Trauma is felt by consequent generations to come. The generations inherit DNA marked with trauma. If the trauma hasn't been healed, it becomes the work of future generations to metabolize it. That's what I believe, if you come to the class, we will be doing together. And if you want to come to the class, I believe you know it's your role in your family to do this work. Knowing who we are is medicine. And we cannot know who we are if we don't know where we've come from. When we remember where we come from, we can offer our belonging to the world. There are ways of participating in the world authentically. I have worked with plants all my life, and in some way, and it wasn't until much later in my journey, I realized that plants, who all have a sense of ancestry through their own lineages, were leading me to my own ancestral healing. I was working with plants for many, many years before I realized that's where they were leading me to. They got me grounded, but they also showed me what my true grounding was, and that was finding my own soul and soil. So I strongly believe that a large part of the healing we need to do in the modern world involves reconnecting with our earth-based wisdom through connecting with our ancestors. It's the way of honoring the feminine, honoring matter, honoring the earth. We are more than merely connected to nature and planet Earth. We are nature and planet Earth. If we put this part of us back into its rightful place by honouring, revering and feeling the aliveness of our bodies, earth and all matter, then whatever we do, invent, create, can do no harm. It seems so simple. So let me end with another quote by someone called Peggy Ayers, who wrote a book called Ancient Spirit Rising, Reclaiming Your Roots. Every human being has ancestors in their lineage that understood their umbilical cord to the earth and to always protect and thank her. Therefore, all of humanity will heal by reconnecting to the indigenous roots of their lineage to heal their connection and responsibility to Mother Earth. We look forward to seeing you in Taiwan. We are very excited. Thank you.